Let's talk Golden State Warriors. The first preseason game is over and the Warriors already got their first win. It was an interesting game we will discuss here today, and the win came on the last play. We're going to talk everything here. In the meantime, you're already seeing the highlights of the game. I know you're interested on that as well. So you can see here on the corner, and I will make the comments about the game so you can get both things at one place. Before we move forward, please don't forget to subscribe. We are heading to 8,000 members, and I really appreciate your support. So the Warriors had the game today, first preseason game, still in Hawaii, coming from training camp against the Clippers. Kawhi Leonard wasn't playing for the Clippers, and the Warriors didn't have Andrew Wiggins. Everyone else played. Steve Kerr gave an opportunity for everyone. And we started with the thing that we're most interesting at, who would be the starting lineup. So he came to start the game with Curry, which we already knew as the point guard. And then the first surprise, DeAnthony Melton, which we knew it was a possibility, but interesting to see him start. We're going to comment in a second. And then we had Jonathan Kuminga as the number 3, Draymond Green, and Tracy Jackson as the center. So very interesting lineup, reminding that last season, Trace Jackson and Draymond Green together, we had a record of 9-2 to end the season. So very interesting was that moment that Trace Jackson got the spot from Kevin Looney. Melton is known for, he's not a really a tall player, but he has a very large wingspan, and he's really well defender. So it was interesting to see. And it makes sense when you think about, like, Stephen Curry is good, but is not a great defender. And then you used to have in his prime, Klay Thompson, that was a great perimeter. So without Andrew Wiggins, that is also good on that, it made sense that he put DeAnthony Melton then to balance, right? So the Warriors started with that. The Clippers actually was leading most of the game. The Warriors trio most of the game. But he showed some interesting things, right? So first of all, I think was very aligned with everything that Steve Kerr was mentioning during trade camp, media day, all the interviews that we had so far. They actually connected with the way that the Warriors played. So it was a very high volume in shooting threes, which in my opinion, it's interesting to see some guys trying. We saw Brandon trying a few more threes. I think everyone tried it. But the percentage was pretty low. The Warriors are hitting very low number of threes. We're going to pass through the box score in a moment, and you'll see that actually the percentage wasn't great. Our best shooting percentage for 3 was actually DeAnthony Melton with 40%. And don't miss the opportunity to get all kinds of Golden State Warriors products with discount. And if you are in the US, there is also free shipping. You can get t-shirts like this one. You can get hats. You can get any of those frames back there. Anything of the Golden State Warriors you will find there, and they are all official products. Just use the link, buy it, and you can get amazing discounts. So that was interesting because it's something that Kerr wants to. He wants people actually to replace that shooting volume that Klay Thompson used to bring for the game. But at the same time, that needs to be in a high percentage, right? Otherwise, it's just wasting that opportunity. The game actually started with 2 plays where 2 turnovers, which gave me a little bit of chills already. That was reminding me of the previous years where we actually had a high volume of turnovers. Then we balanced, and then obviously when we came with the second and third unit, we had some mistakes on and off. We end up the game with about 20 turnovers, which was higher actually than our average for last season. That was 13, almost 14. But I understand as well for being the first game, and then you have those players that they are not playing together. So I think it's not a big deal at this point, but it's obviously something for us to pay attention, right? Steve Kerr said that we need to keep the ball and control the ball and take care of the ball better. So that was a point as well that we could see in this game. So we already passed the high volume shooting threes. Taking care of the ball. And then the other point that caught my attention was actually the defense. The defense was pretty solid. We hold the Clippers to 90 points. That, especially if you look for nowadays standards of NBA, is pretty low. And I think everyone that came to the game So you got to keep in mind, it's the first preseason game. Those guys didn't play together so long, as I said, most of them at least. There's a new rotation. You have new head coach, assistant coaching as well. So there's a lot of things to adapt to, adjust, to understand, to learn. And it's still like the guys that came to the game and the second unit, third unit, they also show some hustle. Kevin Looney come to the game and he was like already stealing the ball twice in a row. Moses Moody, that is someone that I want to talk here. He also came really well to the game. So I think the Warriors aligned with everything they were saying, like high shooting, getting better on defense, and then like the rotation, the new style of play. So we're going to keep adjusting on these things. Moody is one guy that I think at the beginning of the game, like when the second unit came with Buddy Hield, Gary Payton, Kyle Anderson, Looney, and we also had, I'm forgetting someone. So Gary Payton, Kyle Anderson, Looney, Buddy Hield, and I forgot the other guy, but he wasn't Moses Moody. So when that unit came, I was like, okay, he already like there's a point of attention because and the second guy was Brandon Przynski, so he was the point guard, right? So I was like, the second unit came and Moody still didn't get his spot, and Wiggins is not even playing. So like he definitely got a demotion from like. I'm interested to see how many minutes he's going to be able to play at this season, right? Where he's going to fit and what Steve Kerr is thinking for him. Reminding, he's in his fourth year. He came together with Jonathan Kuminga to the Warriors at the same year. He hasn't had that many opportunities yet. I think he's still trying to find himself in the mix and how he can support, but he's also like, I think Kerr also had a little bit of not putting him that much or maybe not giving him that many opportunities for whatever reason. So it's going to be interesting. This year he has to renew his contract, so it's definitely anger to show that his style, his game, and it's interesting. The good point for him was when he came to the game, he actually led the Warriors in plus minus. So he had the best plus minus by far for any Warriors players with 14. And he also was the second best scorer, just behind Lindy Waters III, that hit 5 threes. So he finished the game with 15 points. So I think he is still not coming to the second unit. When he came, he showed that he can deliver and he can be helpful. So that's very interesting. Good for him. I want to see Moody more there, but obviously when he comes to the game, he needs to show, right? So I think we saw those things, and that was very interesting. Interesting the choice of Trace Jackson starting. Let's see how it's going to be between Looney and him. I think for future preseason games, we might see more of Looney, so we can actually test those both options. So that was it. And then at the last, so I think the other one that was a big highlight for this game was Lindy Waters III. As I said, he hit it 5 out of 7 3-point shoots. So, and he finished the game with 15, including the game winner at the last second of the game. So amazing game for him. I think that's exactly why the Warriors were interested in him. He's this really great catch and shoot guy that we need in the wing and everything else that he can add. So great to see these guys. And then we had the third unit, but I don't think anyone really outstanding there. Like they had a few tries, show on and off something, but I don't think we have anything to highlight. So the Warriors wrapped the game with a win tonight, 91-90 against the Clippers. As we didn't see obviously many minutes of Draymond Green and Stephen Curry. We already know what those guys can bring to the game. But that's a great start. It's good to bring that win and the way that it was, like the clutch at the end and the game winner. I think that's already bring a little bit of flavor of the regular season, right? So let's take a look at the box score, and I'm gonna comment a few things compared to the last season average, right? So when you look here, so this is, as you can see, everyone played. Steve Kerr gave the opportunity to everyone, which is really good. The Warriors finished the game a few things that were calling my attention during the game, right? So first of all was the number of rebounds. So as you can see here, the Warriors finished the game with 56 rebounds, and that's almost 10 rebounds more than the average last season. So a lot of times, and you might have already noticed this in the highlights, I saw many Warriors players crashing through the ring to going for that offensive, defensive rebound. We really populating there to making sure that they grab that. And the Warriors outstanded the Clippers in second chance points as well. So I think that was a really effort that they brought to the game, and I saw better than the last season what we did. Obviously, a low point was the 3-point percentage. As you can see there, we averaged 22, and the Warriors are usually above 35 for the season, so that's very low. But I think that does also have to be with the different guys trying to shoot and trying to find everyone trying to show a little bit what they can bring, and they're trying. I think for as we go heading to the regular season, this should normalize where you're gonna have the guys being more selective with their shooting choice. So I think that was the low point there. So I think all the other numbers, the turnovers were actually higher as well. As I said, usually the Warriors average about 13 to 14 turnovers, and they actually average 20. They had 20 in this game, so it's pretty high. But there has to be a lot with the rotation, the amount of minutes. Usually, obviously, in a regular game, we're not gonna see everyone playing this amount and the entire unit all the time. So it was actually pretty good. Kuminga was the one that played more minutes, actually playing 19, but it was everyone under that. So that was how the mix that Steve Kerr brought and gave the opportunity to everyone. So I think it's a great start. Let's take a look as well on the last of the schedule. So the Warriors still have 5 more games, as I have already brought here for you. We're playing 4 days right now, so they're heading back to California. They're coming back home, and then we will play a sequence of 5 games where some home courts and some traveling. So first we go to Sacramento. We face the Sacramento there October 9 at 7:30 p.m. And then we go back home and we play our first game at Chase Center this season, right? So against the Sacramento as well. And then we're going to have Detroit and then Lakers, and then the Lakers at home October 18 before the opening game of the season on October 23rd. So I hope you enjoyed the game as I did. I think we already starting seeing some things, having a feeling of who is going to take what spot, having a guess on how that starting lineup will play. Brandon Porzingis being the backup point guard. So a lot of things are already showing up and boiling as the Warriors intend to head for the season. And that was great. Great start with a win. Let's go Warriors. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to know more about the whole Warriors dynasty, just watch this movie here.